reason. Thank you for standing up for science and sanity with us today. My name, as Carol said, is Dr. Shea Haus-Weber, she, her, and I'm a heliophysicist just up the road at Stanford. I am here today on my lunch hour speaking to you in my capacity as a private citizen. I'm here to speak about how this administration's policies are impacting my science community and my research on the sun. First of all, many of you may be wondering, what the hell is heliophysics, and why should you even care?
What is it?
You should care because no matter who you are, the sun shapes your daily life. Beyond warmth and the occasional sunburn, the sun can and does disrupt the technological backbone of modern society. Virtually every technology that we use today can be directly impacted by the sun. If you don't believe me, come talk to me afterwards. Solar particles and radiation can short out satellites, scramble navigation signals in your Google Maps, knock out power grids, erode water and gas pipelines, expose pilots and astronauts to extreme radiation, and even drag satellites down to burn up on re-entry. This is why heliophysics matters. This is why stable scientific ecosystems matter. So let's get into it. We must first accept that our US system for engaging in science already had long-standing flaws. How research is funded, how science policy is made, and who gets to participate in science. Many, although not nearly enough, of us scientists have been pushing for comprehensive solutions to these issues and others for decades. But this year, under the Trump administration, those flaws in the system have cracked wide open. In 2025, every branch of the federal government, at the behest of or leadership of Donald Trump, has taken action that push US science toward collapse. In heliophysics, with only about 600 researchers in the US at the start of this year, the conglomeration of these federal actions equate to nothing less than an extinction-level event. My field is being wiped out of existence in this country. Let me list a few of the actions our government has taken this year to undermine space science. Note, these are not unique to heliophysics, and this is not, by any means, an exhaustive list. In the executive branch, peer-reviewed, awarded, active research grants have been canceled. From NASA alone, 178 scientific grants have been canceled since the start of this year, and that number is growing. Meanwhile, the number of open NASA heliophysics grant solicitations were cut from 15 in 2024 to currently only 2. I haven't even mentioned the impacts on NSF and NOAA, the other two federal agencies that fund heliophysics. In the legislative branch, Congress has slashed science budgets. Trump's initial budget request to Congress would have cut NASA science by almost 50% and canceled more than 40 space missions that are currently in orbit. This is still the budget that DJT and Russ Vought are pushing for. At the end of the shutdown last month, Congress agreed to enact the proposed House budget as a continuing resolution, cutting NASA research by 30%, while kicking the can that contains our science careers down the road to this coming January when the budget debate starts all over again. In the judiciary, they've been letting grants remain frozen as executive policies are fought in federal court. In addition, a Supreme Court doctrine was recently released that limits lower court judges' ability to halt harmful policies, including those related to science. As a cherry on top, retaliatory lawsuits have been weaponized against universities with science funding held hostage. If it wasn't clear already, the SCOTUS majority is not on the side of science. To rub salt in our scientific wound, ideology is now being allowed to masquerade as evidence. The political race to the moon or Mars has waylaid all else at NASA. If you look at NSF's research programs this year, the vast majority are related to AI development and cybersecurity efforts, not basic science. And rumor has it that the NSF programs that do still support basic science may be shuttered next year. Many of my colleagues have already been forced abroad, either because there's not enough funding to go around, or because the social environment has made it unsafe for them to remain. Not only are my international colleagues departing, but several of my research friends from marginalized groups are leaving to pursue their scientific careers elsewhere purely out of the expectation that they will not win proposals purely based on their names and identities. Given the already small size of the heliophysics community in the US, this brain drain is hitting my field hard. International students are being pushed out of US science. Cuts to graduate programs and visa denials have blocked many from even applying to graduate school. Those already here have faced ICE detention, unlawful deportation, lost research support, and pressure on universities to report on them. One example, Earlier this year, the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party sent letters to universities, including Stanford, demanding data on Chinese students funding research and affiliations, calling the student visa system, quote, a Trojan horse for Beijing. Stanford acknowledged receipt of the letter, but did not reject the request outright, and we still do not know whether it ultimately complied. This is not normal. This is not survivable if we treat each hit as isolated. We must name the crisis we are in and then confront it head on. What's under attack is public policy itself, the laws and regulations that shape our scientific ecosystem. Healthy policy is a loop. The community speaks, legislatures listen, agencies implement, and the community thrives. That loop breaks when policy becomes partisan or hostile to evidence. And right now, it is broken in many places. Which brings us back to acceptance. As Angela Davis once said, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. You do not have to do it all. Advocacy is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. It depends on your job, your risk, your comfort level. The first step is simple: assess your own risk. Then, safely stretch the limits of your comfort zone. I don't have time today to share my extremely long list of concrete actions that folks can take to make a difference for science. I'm pretty sure I'm already over my time, but please come speak to me afterwards. For now, know that an easy start is with groups like Stand Up for Science, or with the Union of Concerned Scientists. Plenty of organizations are already engaging, and you just have to join them. I'll wrap up with a reminder that science advocacy is not just for scientists. We need everyone to get involved. Stay active, stay loud, defend science and the people who make it possible, push back when policy drifts from evidence, when students are pressured, when researchers are silenced, when budgets are threatened, and when our institutions forget who they serve. And if we do stand up, 2025 will not be the year that US science was dismantled. It will be the year we turn the tide and built something stronger together. A phoenix from the ashes, a beacon of what science could be and should have always been. Thank you for being here. Thank you for fighting. Let's defend our science and our future together.